Addressable has been around for a long time, but national cross-screen addressable is groundbreaking, new, and important. And it's not something that's coming in the future, it's something that's here and now, which is really exciting. AMC Networks, we launched our first national addressable campaign in late 2020, and we've been airing campaigns since. It's important, though, that I think people understand that it's national addressable. So it's not those 2 minutes an hour like we're used to. The national piece is really important. So we're using our national inventory to support addressable. And as well, it's complemented with our set-top box VOD and CTV as well. This enables true convergence for our clients, which is important. I feel like convergence is the new really hot term because there isn't a meeting I don't go into where our clients don't want to understand what our solutions is, how are we pulling together converged impressions, and what we're doing in the marketplace. So this is a solution that we're already providing to our clients, and it's an important turn in the industry. TV has always been used for reach and scale. Addressable enables brands to speak directly to their intended consumer. And we can do this with being platform agnostic, which means we utilize the power and scale of TV, but with precision for our clients. And more importantly, this enables us to really get the insights into communication and really driving deeper understanding within the industry, right? So what are the key learnings? What are the actual impacts of national addressable to our clients? And when we talk about the industry, I don't necessarily like to say TV industry because we're really creating a media industry that we're prioritizing the client's goals and we're offering them direct solutions, not just based in the traditional TV sense. We all know TV is important, but CTV and VOD is just as important. And we know this because think about all the research that's out there, right? It's saying that viewership is truly fragmented now, and it's not that less people are consuming, they're just consuming differently. So we need to really understand this and move forward with the converged impressions, and we're currently transacting in this manner.
That's a really good sense of where the market is today. So tell us a bit about the current landscape. You've mentioned various different pools of inventory. You've mentioned streaming, VOD, linear. It's quite complicated. How do you think about the current landscape? What state is it in at the moment?
I think it's innovative and always changing, right? So as soon as we catch up and understand the state, it's changed, it's different. But change is a really good thing. And we've always seen change in the industry. And with change comes even better products, technologies, and for brands to talk to their consumers. The way I look at it is we're providing a really high-end offering to our client. It enables them to speak directly to their consumers while leveraging our sought-out content, right? So this is the best of both worlds, one-to-one communication in a really good environment. And we've done this successfully and at scale. Over 30% of our linear viewership is addressable. And we're also seeing clients lean in and recognizing the power of national cross-platform addressable. And we're seeing the demand. And I don't necessarily mean demand in transactions, but the demand to learn. And that's huge. I think that's when you really see that the game's changing. Clients are leaning in. They want to know how it works, how it's different than the traditional addressable that they're used to hearing about. They want to understand the power for their clients and how they can use it. So that's exciting. But with all the exciting things, I think there is still some difficulties, right? With every advancement in technology, there's always complexities. So the main thing is really standardization. We need to standardize and solve for measurement. I spent a lot of my career on the buying side, and measurement was always a big thing. We need to figure out how to do holistic measurement and unify measurement. With this, we'll be able to scale. Now, we're doing this with our clients currently. We're managing the campaigns, we're offering attribution, but we're learning with each campaign because we're looking at data from ACR technology, our VOD, our data platforms, CTV. We're using all this data to inform us and help us learn. Each learning in each campaign is helping us get to the next phase. And the faster more clients lean in, the quicker we're going to get there.
So other than investment in measurement, do you see any other real priorities for industry collaboration to help this market move forwards? Or is that the main focus from your point of view?
I actually love this question because it really goes back to standards because they're not just important, but they're absolutely necessary. Super passionate about this. I just spoke about standards a little bit, but I think we have to take a deeper dive and we have to look at it from programmers and a distributor standpoint, right? From a technical and operational standpoint, if there's standards, we'll be able to scale addressable much quicker. My end goal is to make sure that all of AMCN's households are up and running with addressable. And we currently have the largest penetration in the marketplace. And we're aggressively trying to work with more operators as fast as they're willing to operate with us. I think it's important, and I'm going to go back to it real quick, the measurement aspect of it. And I think measurement is going to be a common thread in any conversation that National Addressable comes up with. It's a really big piece of the conversation. Holistic measurement for reach and frequency is absolutely needed. With this, it will allow us to really provide the standards and the ease for clients to understand. I was talking to someone the other day, and all successful industries have standards that they abide by. So think about banks, for example. If a person wants to go and get a loan, they know how it works. They go to their bank, and the first thing the bank does is they run a credit check, right? They need that credit score, and from there, they can provide a loan depending on what it comes back with. But all banks came together to decide this is how they need to move forward. Every industry has standards. These standards are really just going to enable us to work with our clients and other programmers in a much more seamless way.
When you look at the landscape today, other than measurement, are there any other areas which really require standardization? So when you start working with another operator, for example, to light up some more addressable inventory, are there standards that would help to make that process more straightforward and simple?
Yeah, I think one of the main is how do we connect from an inventory source with these operators? How do we standardize really how it works? So currently there's MVPDs, there's OR out there. How do we make a holistic offering and make it really seamless for our clients? I think that's important, and it's something that the industry is already working on, and we're looking at to try to help, because that will ease the ability to really transact with our consumers, because it's not easy right now from an operational and program level. So I think those standards as we grow will become more important. It's just not the measurements, it's actually underneath the hood and figuring out how it works and making sure that everyone's aligned.
So it sounds like you're hugely positive and optimistic about the development of the industry during the next few years. What do you see as the big changes as all these improvements come online? How do you think addressable is going to develop through to 2025?
So I think it's going to develop a lot. And I think that comes with really adopting in the changes. And it goes back to the standards, as we just talked about, because without the standards, we really aren't able to scale, right? We need this in place to be able to scale. We need the checks and balances, and just not on the programmer side or the operator side, but on the client and the agency side as well. When I think about what's to come in the marketplace and as we continue to grow, think about, it brings me right back to digital. I was on the agency side when digital was just starting to come up, and it was truly the wild, wild west. There was no programmers that offered it the same. From an operational standpoint, that was different too. It was very confusing to buy. It was hard to understand. There's no checks and balances. And the IAB came in, it was established, and it brought everything together and really unified the industry to allow digital to scale. And I foresee the same thing happening with National Addressable.